Hello world, and welcome back to Minecraft Memoir. This is episode 52. In the last episode, we rang in the new beta 1.0 version by going over the updates as well as seeing a few bugs. We then spent the rest of the episode making a second windmill to add to our first one here. So in between episodes, I finished that bad boy up. The second floor still doesn't have a whole lot in it, but the first floor is at least finished. And here's the reveal. Very ungraceful. But yeah, I think it looks really good. I actually didn't end up changing anything about the design. Once I finished the other two blades, it really kind of came into its own. So I'm glad for that. It looks lovely. I'll get up a little bit closer here. It didn't take all that long, honestly. I probably could have finished it the same night that I published the video, because that was when I recorded the last, two clips for it. But, I needed that sleep, and it was well deserved. It was pretty easy to do this in the morning, so, oh well. So yeah, coming up here, I actually haven't finished. I need to put the mossy cobble on. I forgot about that. And I need to remove these chests. Oh man, okay, so there's a lot. There's a lot I need to do. But this is supposed to be like a grindstone. I figure what better to use than the toughest thing in the game, some obsidian, and make it look like a drill bit, sort of. And then this is supposed to be wheat. For some reason, it's not growing. And then it's supposed to look like, these are channels to catch the ground wheat. So, an actually functional windmill. The other one doesn't really do anything. It just has that post. I thought about it actually while building this. The post that the blades on that attach to, I have a ladder on that. Like, how does that work, How do you get up on that spinning ladder? Like, you're gonna get whiplash. So, you probably saw the ladder on the outside there. You can get to it. It needs a little parkour. So, if you want to do that in the future, feel free. But at the moment, there's not a whole lot up there. It's pretty empty. So yeah. We have two things on the immediate to-do list that I guess I just started. But the first is for the underground tunnel that should be kind of right here, underneath, of course. I've been working on a design for a sugarcane farm that only uses one water source. And it's been going all right. I'm at the point now where I can make the farm work with just one water source. But when I pick up that water source and there's no longer water present in the farm, the sugarcane doesn't automatically update itself. So I'd still have to run through and punch it, I guess. And then there'd be the case of picking it up or making another one water source activated set of streams that makes the items flow into tubes. I could do that item flowing thing, but I might just make it where I run through and pick them up, because that'll already be faster, let's be honest. However, that's going to take a while, because it basically requires me making a second tunnel right above, because of the complicated tubes I need for the water streams. So that's gonna be a while. Another thing I was thinking of is I've been thinking about the lore for this world. Obviously for episode 50, it was on the mind a lot. And we've brought up the topic of the ancient kingdom, quote unquote. I haven't named them, so that's what I'm going with. They're the people who built the viaduct, the spawn tower, Not the library, though. I've come to that conclusion, me and my Discord viewers. So, we haven't built any, actual infrastructure of said ancient kingdom. Where's the kingdom, So, I kind of want to get started on that. I've been putting it off because in my mind, I've been thinking, oh no, that's something I've got to do in the early beta versions. But we're here. this is it, the early beta versions. So I might as well get started. I'm not sure what we're gonna do because there's a whole lot of like planning involved with that, but I think I'm gonna scope out an area that would be good for that kingdom. I want it to make sense though, because the viaduct, I kind of wanted it to be in line with the viaduct, with one of the, four cardinal directions from the viaduct. Or not the viaduct, I'm sorry, the spawn tower. But I don't know. I'm thinking I want it to also be in some chunks I've already generated because there is a lot of empty land in this map already. So we'll see. Oh, right. I did some planning off camera and I've got a pretty good idea of where we're going to put the ancient kingdom. So if you remember, when we had that crash back in like episode 30 or so, our first like chunk error, we generated a bunch of incorrect chunks off in that direction that are a bit taller than everything around. So if we just keep going this way for a while and then turn right, we'll eventually get into those chunks. And I think we'll use those for the ancient kingdom. It works pretty well. It's kind of separated from the surrounding area. So I think that'll look good. What we need to do now is kind of extend the viaduct. I figure we'll build from this way there. That way, in the spirit of delaying things for drumming up interest, we'll work on the kingdom like last. So yeah, I think we'll do this rail station though later. So I'm gonna go this way a bit, and because we also have like no indication of the viaduct here. So, ooh, actually I might want to start at the joint, like where it turns right up ahead. Let me think about that. I might have to reference my map again. Look at that sunrise. That biome over there is actually really nice. We haven't visited that yet. This is going to be kind of surprising, but this tower that we're going to build, the kind of joint where it turns, is... Oh, I thought it was close enough. That's kind of embarrassing. It is shockingly close to Lighthouse too, though. Even I was surprised. Like, I thought I was traveling off pretty far. And I was, but I was all of like 50 blocks to the side of the path you would normally travel to get to this lighthouse. So if I run up here... Yeah, see, it's right there. So pretty cool. I haven't looked at that biome over there, though, and I really like those cliffs, so I might go check those out. But we figured out where we're going to put this little tower. I went kind of at the midpoint of these like incorrect chunks, and it ended up being like 100 and something blocks, like from each side to the middle. So right here is the middle. So now our spawn tower is about like 40 to 50 blocks, and each of the legs for our viaduct are about 7 to 10 blocks. So I'm thinking this tower will be kind of in between, maybe like 25, 35 blocks. I also want to do like a different kind of design for them. Generally, I'm thinking all of the builds from this society will involve like a lot of cylinders and weird kind of mathematical constants. But I don't want to do just another cylinder with like, some pillars on the sides again, because that'll look really redundant with the spawn tower. So I'm thinking this one might include like a hexagon or something to be a little different, but I'm actually kind of struggling with this design. What I do know is that this tower will be at minimum 44 blocks tall, and then I counted, I said it was 40 blocks from the center of everything to everything else, like the spacing from the center of the spawn tower to the viaduct legs, or the viaduct legs to other viaduct legs. But it's actually 41. So I'm going to continue that on here. So I'll do 41 that way and that way. And that'll probably help me figure out like the sizing of all of this. I swear, it's like fate itself is trying to stop me from recording these. Like yesterday, my whole house was noisy, so I just generally couldn't record then. So then I decided to get up early today, and there were people mowing outside, lo and behold. And then they stopped, and then the garbage truck pulled up. It's like one thing after another. I think we're good now, though. It's been quiet for a bit, so I'll record as much as I can here. So I've decided that the base of this tower is going to be 29 blocks in diameter. That's this bottom ring here. And I think that's pretty good. It's not nearly as big as the original spawn tower, you know, before we put those like big posts on the corners. So I think that's good. And then this one is a 27, so the actual body of the spawn tower will probably be like 25, which is good. That's what I said. I'm comparing this design to the original spawn tower, and I gotta say, it is shockingly close. The only difference is that the body isn't a circle, but instead a rhombus. Now, I know this might look a little strange, so let me explain. I was really struggling to find a unique design that wasn't just the original spawn tower. And in my test world, this was creeping dangerously close to that, you know, original barrel-shaped design. So instead, I asked my SO what her second favorite shapes and forms were. Second favorite because, you know, I don't want to use her favorites on this build. This is important, but not terribly important to the world. So I'd prefer to use her favorites on something, you know, actually a little more important. So the shapes and forms she gave me were a trapezoid, a rhombus, a rectangular prism, and a truncated cone, with that last one being just a cone with like the tip cut off. Now, the rectangular prism, that'll come out in this just being built up, and the trapezoids will come out in being combined together into a hexagon. But the rhombus, I was like, ooh, what could I do with that? I decided I would make the body of this tower a rhombus. Now, my thinking here is that when the rail comes in, it'll come into the long side here. But when it goes out towards the kingdom, it'll be on the short side. Short side, like looking at it as a face, sort of. If you're looking at it from the top, basically this rhombus is pointing towards the kingdom, which I think is pretty cool. It kind of indicates that that's the more important direction. So also from the side, it basically just looks square, so you don't really notice until you're looking at it from the top, which I think is pretty cool. It's just a small thing. So yeah, I need to get started. We're kind of low on cobblestone, so I guess I'll build this up as much as I can. So I foolishly forgot the height requirement while building this thing. Obviously I remembered it was supposed to be 44 blocks, but I didn't remember why. And the answer to that, if you're curious, is the viaduct just ended up being 44 blocks once we built it up such that the top was riding along the clouds. So I kind of forgot that while building this, so I built this portion too low. So I redid that and gave it a foundation. You can see we had to raise it up like 4 blocks, so not all that much, but just enough to, of course, have to tear the whole thing down. And I did actually tear down under here the old foundation, or I guess not foundation because this is the foundation, but the old like bottom bit, because we needed that cobblestone. I ran back to the house to get some more, and we have like a single chest full. It is shocking. I'm gonna have to go mining. I don't even know if I'll have enough to finish this project. So I also finished the rhombus portion, so here's that. I think this is looking really good so far. I actually think that the foundation adds a lot to it. I'm surprised that I forgot that, but it makes it look way better. So this portion here is 36 blocks, and then this is 4 blocks. We're not counting this foundation in the whole structure. So once I do another one of these 4 blocks up there, that will be 44. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that first. I have a few like design things. I want to put some like hexagons basically as like rings around here. So I got to figure out if I'm doing that first or the like little cap thing. So I decided to do the top bit instead of the middle. I just figured that would kind of help me figure out the spacing better. So here it is. I think it looks pretty good. I don't know, it's looking very similar to the original spawn tower. Oh, I hear you. Okay, not my best gameplay. Anyway, it's looking really similar. I'm hoping that the like decorations I put on are chunky enough that it's not too similar. And also the hexagonal shape should help. Everything on the original spawn tower was cylindrical, or, well, I guess it was a cylinder if it was more than one block, right? So, yeah, now I've got to figure out where the midpoint is here and start building said hexagon ring out of stone slabs. So I'm running back to re-up on resources. I might actually have to go mining right now. I'm not really sure where I'm at. But check out this overhang. This is like just a few hills over from our tree farm. It's off in that direction. And like, pretty nice. I like this. I think I'll build something over here. So here are the coordinates. I feel like if I clear out these trees, it would be a lot nicer. Just running around making sure that all my torches are placed correctly. I think they are. So in that case, here is the middle ring done. I actually finished the bottom one as well. Not the top, though. I had to figure out these torches because, surprisingly, this shape, even though it's not all that complicated, in the way that like this game calculates light level, it needs a lot more torches than you'd think. So I just basically made a hexagon with a, I think it's that one there, yeah, a 23 block like long diagonal, and then for making it 3D, I just kind of went out 3 blocks. Made 2 blocks up and then 1 block out here. So I think this looks good. I was running around and realizing that like there are a lot of interesting locations on the horizon here that I'd be interested in building in. Like over in that direction, there's the lighthouse, and then there's this like kind of cool pokey thingy. That's a technical term. I think that would be cool to build at. There's this like random flat island here with a really long beach. And I think that would be cool as well. There's that biome over there I already remarked on. Again, over here, like kind of sparse looking, almost like it was made for me to build on. Also, like there's that really blank beach over there. And then I noticed this is actually what prompted me to say all this. There's like a floating rock there that's in like an X shape. So I'm definitely going to have to build something there. That reminds me of Breath of the Wild, like the intro on the Great Plateau, if any of you have played it, where you jump off that rock that has the, what is it, a rusty sword, and then you can get the Korok below. Something about, like, it's just a small staged area, but I think that'd be super cool. And then obviously in that direction, where we're going to build, like, the whole kingdom. So now I need to get this ring done up there. And then I think I'll do like posts at each of these corners of the hexagons. You can see I already kind of did that there. So I think that'll work out nice. I wanted to give an exterior view because I kind of forgot. Also, I think I've been keeping my mic too close to my face because I was playing back those recordings and I can hear my breathing so distinctly. So I'm sorry, I do not like hearing that. If you do, I guess it's fine, but I assume the majority of you don't. So I'll try to work on that. Um, but you can see here, this ring kind of overlaps this base bit. Anywhere that it would be, normally hollow. Because of course, I'm not filling in these rings. They are completely hollow on the inside. So if I didn't have that little bit, you'd see underneath. So I think this looks good though. I also wanted to show you, I brought my chests inside. since I messed up and had to rebuild, all of this base bit, I still have the original floor in there, and I've just basically built over it. So I've decided, yeah, I'll use it kind of like a storage room, like in the, original spawn tower. I was also thinking while I was in here, I know this room is slightly different because it's got like these two openings, and I think they kind of add to it. But I was thinking if I had multiple layers of these 3 block high rooms for basically the entirety of this tower, that would be pretty interesting. I could put some stuff in them, maybe make them like little mazes of their own, and it'd be this like repeating structure of madness, and maybe like a hidden chest in each floor. I'm just kind of brainstorming, but I think that would be cool because I don't really see much of a functional use to the inside of this tower. Also, with this ring here, it's going to be kind of hard to get in, so I might actually just make it so that the only access is from the top. So you basically have to ride the minecart in if you want to go inside this tower. I don't know if I'll do that or not though, because there might be times where you fall off and it would be handy to get inside and, back to the top. So I might put like a secret entrance instead. Oh, dude, okay. I said that secret entrance thing kind of offhandedly, but I might actually have a really good idea. Every time I come here, I run across this land. And one of the times I was coming through, I was placing torches, and I placed one right here. And the surrounding blocks were sand, and they fell through. And I realized that this whole patch of dirt is basically just a land bridge. There are no actual blocks underneath it. So I haven't done any of this. This is completely natural, and it's super cool. I could totally see, like right here, a door, kind of like the spawn tower door. I'm drawing a lot of inspiration, I know, but I really like that design, and I think it would work well, like a big imposing door. Also, I would like the iron doors that I did as trim along it, because that would add, little air pockets. So I don't know, I think that's a good idea, or I'll just use this area as like some other secret. So also over here, I wanted to point this out. This flowing water, I'm pretty sure this is from us harvesting sand, or not sand, clay, at some point in time, like either when we were going to build that lighthouse or when we were just out looking for clay. But either way, I think that's really cool that we, decided to build basically right next to it. So now I'm thinking, actually, I might start on that door since we don't really have a lot of resources anyway to continue. I don't know, I'll have to go scrounge. So a not so quick run home revealed we had about an inventory of cobblestone left. So I did gather that all up and bring it to the corner tower. However, I don't think that'll be nearly enough cobblestone for all the work we're doing over there. So instead of going to our strip mine and doing a bunch of boring work, I decided that we would start a new mining area. That strip mine is pretty well explored, so I figured it's kind of time to set up a new spot, especially with the things that I've learned since starting that strip mine. I feel like we could do this job a bit more efficiently. So one of the things I've learned, and one of the things I've said in the series, is that there is a glitch, I believe it stops at beta 1.6, where in these old worlds, there's some weird math that causes ores to generate incorrectly when you're in negative coordinates. This is for negative x and z, so I think the way it works is that there's some like modifier, some multiplier, that just doesn't work with negative numbers, so it gets rounded down to 0 when you're in like negative x or negative z. And this is like an additive effect, I believe. So I think you have a 50% ore reduction when you're in negative x and z, and then a 20% ore reduction if you're in a negative x or negative z. And if you're in positive x, positive z, then you're in just regular correct chunks. And I know this is a glitch because at, I think, again, beta 1.6, all of the other chunks, all the negative ones, were made to be like in line with the positive ones. So it's not that the positive chunks have too many ores, the negative ones don't have enough. TLDR. So, yeah, I started this area here. I just started quarrying instead of doing a strip mine because I wanted more cobblestone. You can see it starts right here at +0, +0, and goes off that way. So I'll show you the haul. We've only gotten 3 diamonds out of this. I only noticed while I was running around earlier, right over here. Yeah, I just somehow missed diamonds in the ceiling. So I guess we have at least 4 diamonds out of all of this, but that's not really a lot considering I used about a stack of iron for the pickaxes. But we did get almost a full chest of cobblestone, so, you know, I think we're getting what we came here for, but yeah, it's very slow going too. This took about an hour or 2, and we're probably going to need, you know, 3 or 4 more of these chests for all the building. So that last little jaunt was just enough to tip us over the edge. We could get to a good stopping point here. We haven't finished the exterior. I still have a few small details I want to put on, but I think I'll do that off camera. That'll also give me some time to figure out what I want to do up top, because at the moment it's just, you know, blank. But here's the reveal. So you can see I got this top portion put on as well as the pillars here. And I'm really liking the way this has all come out. I didn't think I would like it, but you know, there's some great shapes coming through. Some squares, rhombus, of course, hexagon. So yeah, pretty cool. I think I need to put on some more rings here because it's kind of like bland in this space. And then we'll call it good. And then I need to do something up top, of course. But yeah. Oh, and then of course, I didn't start on the secret entrance over on that side, which I said I would. So we also got to get into that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the like iron door trim, given that it's underwater. I'm not sure if the cactus glitch will work. So got to look into that. But yeah, this build is chugging along here and it's looking great. So I wanted to thank you very much for watching. In the next episode, hopefully we'll work a bit more on this, get some of the viaduct attachments put on potentially. So look forward to that. But yes, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.